We're busy doing Echoes in the Dark last time. It's been a while, but I'm back. We're going to be streaming some more Echoes in the Dark. That being the second or third mission, right? Yeah, the third mission. We're going to start anew and afresh and try to somehow get our 25 points on tough. Oh, interesting. There's a new icon. So yeah, there's been some patches. Meanwhile, I haven't seen the teleporter nerf implemented yet. They appear to be the same so far. Same cost. Same cost to build. I would assume those would get adjusted as well if they ever get significantly changed. You know, because they used to be quite weak, assuming that they only had one possible connection. So we are looking for some possibility of quantum sensors and possibly also social capital plus culture. We have the both of those. There's also economic zones and teleporters here. I mean, you know, that's a combination and a half. It's just that we will require ourselves to unlock some kind of research tech from a ruin for the Vittori. In order to make that work, I guess we could try, right? It's sort of like the best possible option. I would like to beat the missions without teleporters as well. You know, if they ever get nerfed significantly, I'll have beaten 3 of the missions with them when they're really, you know. But I guess it's sort of like the only way. Another balancing pass would probably be needed to make the missions take a little longer. I'll give you a couple years extra in some of them on tough. Just because it's, you know, it's a bit too much, right? So which one do we use? I guess, like, I could use experimental tech or efficient or something like that. You know, maybe it's one of those. Experimental tech, you know, it seems a bit silly, but in doing that, you could probably add a couple more things into the lab at the start. The thing is, though, that it's probably also too expensive to do that, which is sort of the problem with experimental tech. You could also use it to link up a couple teleporter networks, though, which is sort of for the late game. Instead of having to research relays to do that, you sort of get a couple of them. But you still kind of have to do it if you want infraspace later. Although we're playing on tough and we're doing this really hard campaign mission. Although the goal is science, right? So yeah, I mean, orbital labs would be great if we could find them. They would allow us to only do 11 science in one of the labs and then just 1 or 2 science in the other ones. And then subsequently just get the rest out of orbital labs. Because we need 40 science by the end. Which is a bit much, right? A bit more than you usually want in a run. On tough, like, you'd want about 20 science when playing without the Vittori and about 30 science when playing with them. Typically, is that what I've observed? So this is a bit on the highest side. I guess we could also pick up researchers to get earlier teleporters. That makes some sense, I suppose. Let's go with that. Alright, so one thing you'll probably immediately notice in this mission is we can't see anything. That is because this mission specifically says that, you know, it's in the dark. We're limiting, our field of view is strongly limited. So one of the things you could really want is more sensors, because, well, those are kind of amazing here. So to start with, I mean, I haven't had a start yet where I just didn't get any planets, which is significantly possible. So one of the things we could do now is we could decide, you know, let's build this sensor array so we can have a look around the 2 planets we've discovered. That might be a good idea, so we can actually get a good scan out of here. And, you know, there are 3 labs down here. We need 4 of those labs, and then the mission goal is to get One of them completely built up, and in total have 40 science, which can be done in two different ways if you have the Vittori. Either you use Vittori science tech to boost your science further, or you try to, well, you know, get a fifth one online before the end. Luckily, there's no time limit here, and you do get 2 extra years, but it still ends up being sort of gruelingly hard, mostly because these sensor arrays count towards your administration costs. They do allow you to pick up asteroids around them if you build them, and they're also more expensive if you build them around lava planets and the like. They're 12, but it's sort of the thing you have to do because otherwise you won't have any colonizable planets, which is, you know, not ideal. Okay, let's have a look here. All right, this is not bad actually. I think we should do a jungle colony, and then a scavenger world, and then an Earth-like, and then a chip world here. This will allow me to pick up the forebear ruin later. I'll actually not pick it up early this time because we're kind of hoping for a science tech. Although we are in tier 1, we could get orbital labs. I could wait for tier 2 to try to get, what's it called? The tech. The self-hosting AI and the other one. Well, you know, the one that boosts labs by 2. It only boosts labs by 1 in this mission, but it's still hugely helpful for getting that 11 science lab. Because you no longer need a second human in there. I guess we could try to see what's in here. Okay, wave augmentation. Yeah, not ideal. Rebuild it is also not amazing here. I mean, I guess it depends, right? Rebuild it could be okay if there were no goods here. But it's extremely expensive at 40. Let's throw out a scan, so I don't have to colonize at the end of the year. The reason is that you'd pay the admin costs, although they're only 1, but I mean, we're in December and we probably want to see what's out here anyway. There we go, to continue building. Now we get some tasks. And you know, one of the tasks is to colonize some planets, which is great. There's a task to make chips. Unfortunately, we just made those. And there's a task that a remnant is successful. Now that, if we could use this chip for something, then considering that we have potentially water available here, although it's not connectable, which means that we'd really want another jungle planet, would allow us to get this mission done. There's also one here, although again we can't use... In order to get successful, you need to use 2 of their resources, which means 2 chips or 2 robots or 2 ore, and you need to give it water. Both of them have water available, and we have like 3 remnant planets. I think it should be reasonably doable to get one of them successful, rather than try to make 3 more chips, which, you know, sort of forces this to be chips when... I mean, I guess I could have. I don't know though, right? Because there might be things behind here that make it not want to be chips. I could have done both, yeah, but like the first thing we're gonna want to do is colonize these planets in order to prevent any planet from being struggling, which, you know, look at the income difference, right? We just got 7 income because all our income from all these trades upgraded from 3 to 4, which, yeah, from 3 to 4, that's it's a major difference in profitability that allows you. Also, I've just noticed biomatter being available here. If we have another colony, then this can also become successful by itself. Kind of amazing. So, do we have anything to be able to use ice balls? I mean, we have weather control, right? Which sort of is a thing. If this... I mean, this can reach, which automatically means a colony here would be kind of amazing with weather control. So perhaps we should not use this ice ball as a sensor array. On the other hand, I have very little plans for this mineral planet. Let's have a look here and see if it's really... Yeah, it's totally not useful. Any planet it can reach doesn't use minerals. So instead of using up the ice ball, which actually can be valuable with weather control, I think we should use up the mineral. It's cheaper too, right? It's only 7. Although the range will be less because it's less close to the border of the Empire. Although, you know, the amount we lose is this area in here. It's not a major problem. With 3 of these plants, we'll have reached the first laboratories. So now this allows us to get some more vision. Also, if we find a second ruin, we'll have enough science to get quantum sensors. Another way to do so would be to try to do Vittori missions. Let's have a look down here first. So there are goods available here. Which would actually be very nice. Unfortunately, you can't do chips into goods. What I want to know is what I need to make this out. If this is a colony, then this will produce some things. Then this will produce goods. And then the goods will go into this colony over here. I mean, we could do that, but that cuts off the food supply later, right? There's also biomatter needed, but that can be done with a two-way trade over here. So this becomes successful, this becomes successful, this becomes successful. Which means we have a triangle of 3 successful planets. A little bit more finagling and we'll get some prosperous planets in the middle here. Which will be our income basis for a while to come. Also, we have culture hubs available later. So we should reserve 1 person on every people planet to become a culture to be sent out somewhere else. So that we can utilize social. It's actually 35%. I thought it was 25. Wow. Yeah, that's kind of big. It's really big. Okay. These are not as useful. Although, again, this lava near the edge, I suppose it can be used as a tensor array. Although maybe it's the desert instead because it has better coverage. No, it's the lava. The lava has the best coverage of the area around the potential laboratories. But we don't have the income to do that right now. We should just focus on getting ourselves some planets. Now, what I was really interested in is what you were going to be. Robots or ore, right? If it's ore, then it can send in here robots as well. So what really matters is which of the 2 types are we going to go for? I think it's robots. Considering that we've revealed another Arctic, which can become a water supply for it. And then, I mean, I suppose, right, we could even do something like this as well, in order to use the other robot up. Although I wouldn't really know how to use the rest of the things, right? But, yeah. That seems nice. Let's do it. Now this uses up the final human. We'll get 1 more once we make some goods. Now doing this puts us into growing, which will reduce our income by a lot. So I might want to hold off on it and try to get ourselves to October via some scouting or some other shenanigans. Can we do that? We'd lose some time doing that, which is not the ideal solution. But on the other hand, if we try to go with like 7 in income into next year, we'll basically have to throw away the whole year, which would probably be even worse, I would imagine. These scans are not all that amazing. Although, you know, we got an asteroid there, which is fine. I'll leave that up there. And now we'll go into next year with the thawing facility because it's cheapest to run. We'll swap some things. On the other hand, doing it this way means that we've kind of not went with our plan with using this ice ball. Yeah, I suppose, right? Because now the food won't be able to reach it because the slipways in the way. But on the other hand, we do get to use our mission. I guess it's okay, right? Alright, we get our mission complete like this. We also get that connection complete. Now we get to use this asteroid. And then I guess we get this other 2-way trade over here. Like that, like so. It's a bit of a shame that we can't connect you in, right? But having to wait until a tech that's worth 20, I guess it's not really what I want to do. There will be other places where it might be useful. Go into next year. With 45 money and still a few asteroids available. I should pay close attention to how I build around the asteroids so that we'll be able to continue our journey throughout the galaxy. So Dender here want one more type of planet. We've colonized quite a few types, but we're still behind on it. Now, I wonder if that's out of range, right? This would be the other option of using our food. And this could still be a biomatter planet. I don't really see the problem with that. It's just going to be a very expensive connection here. Also, the water can't just go in there easily. There's also this one, which could form some two-way trades, but I'd rather wait with it until we get our quantum sensor so that I can use a better scan down here. I don't know, right? I don't know if I should have done this, but I mean, it completes the mission, right? Maybe the better solution would have been to do this colony here and do this water planet and then complete the mission like that, but that floats the food, right? It's always something that you have to... I guess we're going... Ooh, it's a bit slow there. Now you do get unlimited scan range once you build one of those scanners, which is kind of nice. It's a bit slow here for a second. So there's an Earth-like here, there's a ocean here, but you know, there's no robots around here to make farms out of. But we need some kind of colony around here to be able to supply this. It requires a human and then some resources. So, you know, the best way to do that is probably to do something like this. Although, you know, we could float the food for a bit. Wouldn't Earth-like count? It would not. There's also this thing, but I don't want to supply the human from there because that would be really silly. Like a bot factory over here. Oh wait, hold on a second. Wouldn't that do the thing? Make a connection work? Yes, it would, right? So that starts up our science, which is, you know, sort of like the thing you want to do. I guess I could build this, but look at the income, right? This is a perpetual, perennial problem here. How do we get money? Oh, look, there's another ocean there, yeah. We should probably not use that one then. If we could find some mineral for this, that would be nice. For now, though, let's build this algae farm. And unlock new tasks. Colonize new plants of 8 different types. Get a forge world to successful or improve our science output. I think I'll take the science output. Improving a forge world to successful. So the only forge world we have for now is this one, which would require microchips. Well, that one, which also requires microchips, but both have really no given plan to get them. And I intend to move over the right here to get the second science lab up. So I think it's going to be colonize 8 types of plants. We'll need to colonize a lot of planets in this mission. That seems like a reasonable mission to take. Let's get to the new year with the Slipways so that, you know, we get the maximum out of our money. And then we'll have to worry about how do we get this all connected. So I think we should focus on money rather than science for now. Because we simply will run out if I try to do it in any other way. In fact, we will even run out even if I do it this way. Yeah, so at least we've got 16 in here, and I think I should take it. Although wave augmentation's pretty good in here. The longer slipways, right? I mean, this one, for example. It's horrifyingly expensive. Let's see, it's 29. I don't know if it could actually... Maybe? I think it might just be out of range, actually, even with the lengthened slipways. Sort of, it's hard to test, right? We can't tell. 29 is more than 20 plus 30%, but I know that it scales super linearly. So there's a minimum cutoff. Like, it's 15 is over here, and 30 is over there. Let's move on an axis, right? So we can see. If I go from here to 15, right, it's about 1.5 blocks. If we go up to 30, well, it's only half a block more, right? So the scaling is super linear. Right? A 10 cost slipway, a 20 cost slipway is not twice as long as a 10 cost slipway. Right? So this one's 16. Although it's not all that useful. Yeah, we kind of don't. I guess we can do something like a water gear, right? In order to use this. That seems a bit. That seems a bit bad because we'll be colonizing all of plants and not using them. I think we'll take the 16, even though I would love to have wave augmentation. I just don't think we can afford it. So do that. At least get some income. And I guess we'll get the second point of science out of here. So yeah, there's like there's a distinct lack of uses for this human. Not particularly happy with that. I'm gonna look down here. Oh, very neat, a 4-bear ruin. So this could be our asteroid, actually. I think I'll take it. Even though this might be colonized later. The time requirements on this mission are actually fairly steep. Also, we're at 15, so we'll give up 16 income if I ever increase my empire, so I maybe should hold off on doing that. Thankfully, there's something we can at least do. Which is going to be to unlock quantum sensors, so we can actually have a look at things more clearly. So yeah, out of money. I don't have any money. So I guess we do this connection next. This gets us 27 income. It's not terrible, but you know, the moment we try to do anything, it goes down further. Let's get the quantum sensors. This significantly expands your field of view and allows us to do something like this scan, for example, which reveals 4 more planets. Now that's interesting. We could make some microchips here, and that would actually reach just about. More importantly, it would reach this swamp world, which can be a colony. It would get the 3rd good out of here. It would also enable us to get this ruin out of here. And we haven't colonized a swamp for the Dinder yet, so there's something to be said for that. Though, let's have a look here too, see if there's anything colonizable. There is. In fact, there's even an ocean, which would be the ideal type to colonize down here. Although, you know, these are in the wrong order. If they were swapped, we could do something like ships here, and then a farm here, right? You'd go robots into chips, chips into robots, chips into the farm, robots into the farm, and then the farm into the colony. But the problem with this setup is, of course, that I mean, I can't even afford it, but I cannot cross these streams here. So that's a no, but I think it still is this colony over here, which will allow us to make a 2-way trade as well as, I mean, if I make the 2-way trade this year, we'll only have 16 income, so it's not a good idea. So a better idea might be just to skip. Literally to just have some money, right? To just have enough money to be able to build enough things so that we don't end up stuck at a low amount of money. We'll have to do that. This will end up happening a lot during this mission. The fact that you have 3 planets that contribute exactly 0 to your income is such a major problem. But this is a nice thing to do. Wait. What happened to all the ore? Like, I need to do that. Oh. Yeah, we have a shortage of it here, strangely. I guess we could do this colony instead then. That's out of range though, and we don't have wave augmentation. I mean, either way, it's going to be out of range. The problem with it is this ore planet over here wants to send an ore to the laboratory, but can't because it won't get any water if I don't use this as a source of water. I guess that's what it's going to have to be. At least this way we get our 3 science a year. Now, unfortunately, I cannot make you a chip world like this and that and that. We're crossing streams, and also water here. We're kind of stuck with you for a while. I would suppose. Our income's only 12, even with the weight. I mean, I guess we have to expand this way if we wanted more income. I could try to do this, but building around these laboratories probably means even less income. I'd rather do that with teleporters later, but again, to get the teleporters we need some science. I guess the best way to do it would be the Satori mission, which asks for, guess what, science, right? But we just can't afford it. It's just not reasonable yet. So I guess a colony is the most reasonable thing we can do here. We're also getting 14 income. It's not terrible, but it's still pretty slow to go at this pace. So there's a farm possible, but I don't want to build a farm near the laboratory. That's a bad idea. So where are we going to farm for you? I mean, there's this primordial, but it really wants to produce biomatter. There's this ice ball, but you know, ice balls, we don't have the tech to do that. Yeah, the conundrum is pretty real. The other option would just be to add this in, which, you know, just seems to me like the better option for now. We'll also get closer to our tech. I guess like these are all just. I mean, the habitat would be neat, but we don't have this unlocked. Is the thing. It might have to be scavenge. We'll only have 14 income next year. I think it has to be scavenge. But can we somehow get more income before we scavenge? Maybe, right? Out of the 14 we get, because the scavenge is instant, and we're only losing 1 month for doing this. It's just, you know, that's okay, I guess. But so doing biomatter into food here is just like, I mean, maybe, right? You are out of range by like a hair, right? Yeah, this is not reasonable. I mean, water might be reasonable, but a lack of food here is going to be a major problem. I don't want any super unhappy plants. Making water here as well. It only has 1 customer, which is not enough, right? With food, at least it has 2 potential customers, but we're floating this biomatter, which is very likely to have no possible ways of being made. Oh, you know, you are here. And we have lensing, right? Which we might just have to go with that. And turn some plants into lenses so we can get further connections in some places. At least lenses don't count as a planet, right? So that, yeah, I would really hope this to be another primordial, right? That's sort of like the thing we're gambling on, really. Or a swamp, right? There's 2 types. It's still not ideal, of course. Like, there's only 2 types out of, what, 12 or so that there are. The probability is not in our favor. Let's put it that way. Also, apparently we can't get more than 16 even if we improve our income. We improved it by 1. It's kind of logical that it didn't do that. I guess we could make a colony blindly, but that's a bad idea. We could make this into a mineral world blindly, but again, like, we're sort of forced to play blindly here. I could take the ice ball as a sensor array, but that puts us closer to the next administration cost. Well, we're already low in wealth and it's expensive, so it's another no. We could just explore over here, I suppose, right, where we actually have some things to do. We don't have any interconnections we can make. We're 1 sign short of doing culture stuff. Actually, we're 1 sign short of doing culture stuff. maybe the answer is to do culture stuff to get some money going. We're at 19, but yeah. Like, it makes some sense, but at the very least, let's get to know what this is. That's not what we're looking for, of course. We'll colonize it. This will remain unhappy forever, I suppose. Well, this is typically an okay idea to do. We'll have this ore available. One will be used here. Do I know yet what for? Chips, I guess? This ice ball will have to be lensed, but I mean, I could do that, right? Make chips in like 3 places for like 3 places. It's not half bad. It's too bad you don't have ore available, right? It will lock this off, though. I mean, I could also make biomatter gear for just you. I guess this will be unhappy. There's really not much of a way around it. We'll maybe fix it with a teleporter later, right? From here, for example, but for now, that making it unhappy is probably a better idea than trying to do anything else with it. I mean, I wish I could use this water over there, right? But lensing seems like a good tech for us to bridge the gap to teleporters. It really does, doesn't it? So I guess we skip the rest of the year. And then we'll get our culture hubs, which is sort of the way forward, really. They'll allow things like this to happen. Right, we went from 12 to 17 just by doing that, and then that, and now we're making 22. So basically we increase our income by 10 by doing that. I think I'll make the chips anyway here. I don't think I want the lens, to be honest. This is just so much more money, right? Even if we're floating a struggling planet. Also, you're available as a colony to us. Actually a fairly good one too. 18 over here for the extra good, needing good, and a food, and a fun, and a ping, and everything, right? It has all the things it needs. It just doesn't have really much outputs, but we have culture hubs, right? We have one output for free. I wish I had some more money. I could take this, but it feels bad to do. One thing I could do is colonize this and then take it. But again, that also feels bad to do because I want to use a culture hub everywhere I can. So I guess the best option is, you know, we lose another half a year. Just trying to get income is like the whole problem. So we'll send in you, we'll send in you. Now we have some humans available here. We'll connect this up as well, getting us to 33. And then we're stuck again, doing another skip for the rest of the year. We'll send in that. And finally we get ourselves a culture hub. So once this becomes successful, this turns into a prosperous world. I mean, I could do this, right? Just send in from both, but... Or could I just make you successful? Yeah, I guess, right? If I did this instead... Yeah, so there's a prosperous world, right? 10 income from that, yeah. Prosperous worlds have 5 income for every partner, so we're making 5 income here 1, 2, 3 times. So we get 3 extra income from doing that. Making some of these colonies prosperous would also be a great idea. Like this one, for example, right? It only needs another successful planet somewhere. Which could be this, right? Yeah, in general, it could be this. In fact, if only we had some water up here, right? I mean, you're available, right? With a 2-way trade even. And you're also available. You were in March and we have to skip again. This is sort of like, we're skipping like 3 years here, but I don't see a way around it. We have only 14 years left to do, or 15 years left to do 40 science in. It's like, How? What? What are we supposed to do here? I have no clue. Yeah, I literally have no idea how we're supposed to even remotely be able to do this. That's always the problem, isn't it? There's a forebear ruin here that I want. Maybe we have to go and scout for more science, though. Because we kind of ran out of the ideal solutions, right? Well, you know, making this work could be good to make this prosperous. The thing is, I'd be floating the water, right? And this doesn't get us anywhere close to another lab, is the thing, right? It's not really a direction I want to go in. So is there another way to make a partner review successful? I mean, there's this. Wait, that's economic zones, so we're going to get those. I mean, perhaps I should be making a culture here. Going from 8 to, what? 17? Yeah, that seems reasonable. Also, I could make one here as well. I guess we should make one every year instead of 2. This one isn't as pressing though because it doesn't have any... It's not using any of its humans. So... I guess, right. There would be nothing in here. It would be so nice if this could use some of the humans, but it just... just ever unemployment. I mean, it's necessary to make this thing prosperous, so it's fine, right? It uses up all these resources here. But it's a bit sad, right, that this colony can't do anything. So if I look down here, there's a laboratory. Of course, there's no way to get any humans in there for now. And yeah, you, but you're out of range. Some more ore to be made. Some water to be made. Alright. I want to try to get as many inputs as possible. I guess I could make a chip here for the both of them. Wouldn't be terrible, right? We're trying to do this mission next, right? The thing is, these connections are also super long, of course. So... I guess we'll have a look over here. There's at least a colony. It's not the best colony, but like that, right? Like we need some more science before we can ever get to here. Otherwise we just won't be able to. So also there's this, right? Like any tech that gives you money is the tech that you want in this mission. Because money is the major issue. It will forever be the major issue. I mean, there's that connection I could make, right? But our missions are to colonize things, right? If we colonize enough things, we'll get a little bit of money from the Dender. It's not much, it's 40, but it's still quite a bit. Forage root mineral, swamp, and primordial. Those are exactly the types of plants that we found, though. So that's perhaps not the ones we want to colonize, then, if we want to do the mission. I mean, an ocean would count, right? I mean, I guess it would. It wouldn't make this successful. We'd need 3 more, but, you know, we're getting close. Just a jungle or something's left? Or an arid? Hey, this is an arid. And then what? An Arctic? An arid and an Arctic? I think we're nearly there, right? An arid and an Arctic puts us at 7. And I don't know what the final type has to be. Have we colonized an Earth yet? Eh, we haven't, right? So that could be it. Arid, Earth, Arctic, or... There should be a 4th one. There should be 9 types that are colonizable for us. Oh, remnant. There's a remnant not in here in this list. Arid, Earth, Arctic, and remnant. And jungle. So there's 10 types basically in total, right? Unfortunately, I don't see any jungles. I see some Arctics though. I see an arid. I don't see any Earths either. Where's Earth? Where's Earth to save us? Well, next year. I'm going to do at least one culture hub. Or create at least one culture hub somewhere. If I was... Maybe that's out of range. You're always going to be in a pickle as well. These are going to be at -8 soon. Can't do anything about it. Feels bad. I guess we should do this because of the asteroids maybe, but we'll get the bonus science from it too, right? Which will get us our economic zones. But if I do that, we'll go to 24, which we'll have to throw away all our income again. I don't want to do that. Let's see. That actually makes you successful, doesn't it? That does help a bit in income because it's trading with a prosperous partner. Can I do this to get you another prosperous planet? Oh, I can. Well, I think those two actions are pretty good. We'll get to 75. You know, the 24 will hurt less if our base is 75, that's for sure. Let's see if we can get some... Yes, we can. Oh, we can get quantum computing here, though. And that's the thing I wanted. The money, though, right? But no. No. We should take the quantum computing. That's kind of like a major help. It'll make it so that we can actually get some decent science out of these things. Okay, so next up, I should get it water. And then I suppose, you know, I could make biomatter and, you know, colonize that as well. But I think the better action would be to make that and then make a culture. If I send a culture in here, could I mean, I could make food here, right? That's the beautiful thing. And I really want to because, you know, this thing has all the asteroids in the world around it. Perhaps we should wait until October, though, so we get the full 75. And just do a couple scans for these 2 months. I mean, we wasted so much time, right? Hello. Earth-like. We should definitely colonize that. That's just... You know, that's another two-way trade over here. That's excellent. Well, it's for now it's a one-way, but... You know, look, this farm will get so many resources. Like that, right? And then, you know, get that culture hub up. You know, we can even, you know... We can get, like, lots of resources here. Like a very high amount. I could do this. To send out more biomatter and water. I could do that to send in the water. I could do that to send in... I mean, that's out of range. Right. I could do this to make you successful. Oh, you pop prosperous even. Yeah. We're back at 75 income. Okay, we didn't lose anything. That's sort of... That's already a plus. And now, I guess the answer would be to go ahead and build an Arctic planet somewhere. And just hope you pick the right thing, right? I mean, just gamble on one, right? Is there a better option than that? I don't think so. If we want to complete the Denner mission, and I do, because we'll have some money to actually start building some laboratories, slightly more aggressively. I guess we'll found this colony, and you know, maybe we'll fix it later. This gives us the 4 science and the thing. And we could get ourselves our hands on quantum computing. Which, you know, it's only 1 science for now, but it's going to be necessary in order to ever get to the, what is it, 40? Yeah, so next step, aggressively pursue science for the next 12 years and hopefully get there. So, you know, there's our task. Immediately pops up. Get a remnant of prosperous. I mean, we just kind of did. Do we have any more that are even anywhere near that? No, right? Sort of unfortunate. We'll make 3 chips though. But colonizing 9 more planet types means, you know, that mission will take a long time. Man, the sound is kind of loud. I mean, it's sort of because this tune is the best tune, right? So, Remnant to Prosperous is the goal. Where are we going to do that? Because if we do, we get a Vittori discount, which works towards self-hosting AI and works towards limited teleportation. Which is actually kind of the thing we want early, if we can get it early. Although it might be economic zones first, I don't know. So that works fairly okay. It's too bad. I mean, yeah, that's a cleansing, right? So what is this going to accomplish actually? Like water, probably? And that's not terrible. And that at least showed it successful. This thing will have a lot of partners to trade with, which is kind of amazing right there. Right, just keep sending things everywhere. It's very nice. Yeah, I guess I want to do this though. Even though it's kind of doubling up things. Because I can create more water, right? And then we can do something akin to make minerals here. Also, you know, the Silthid mission, right? And there's 6 science, right? You can find a source of ore for this, then it'll pop regular, and it'll be able to make more. Complete this mission. And this really wants a robot too, but and this really wants a chip then, but I think we'll go ahead and make ore here. Do I have to? Can't I do that on the other side? I guess I can't. There's a jungle there. Interesting. To colonize, perhaps. We'll be able to use the chip then. And we'll be able to get an economic zone out of it. I won't be able to use this 4-bit run. We won't be able to connect you to a colony. Yeah, it could be better, could be worse. We'll at least have unlocked the Silthid options in Ruins. We also have a lot of money, or a lot of tech available. Do I want economic zones first? It kind of seems like it, right? Like we'll be able to get some significant money out of it. I would assume. Like I've seen this one, right? Like how good is that? Oh yeah, that's kind of amazing. I think we should take that tech. From 79 to 93. And that one's a bit unfortunate that we can't connect it. This one we can though. 106. Yeah, getting some of those internal connections first for economic zones seems like just seems like a good idea, doesn't it? I mean, how much is... I mean, I know I can't use the water, but... just one successful. If I could get some prosperous out of it, it would be fine, but I can't. This one doesn't have enough partners. Nor does this one, right? You would need those things to become prosperous. Let's go ahead and unlock you actually first. I'm looking at my empire size and it's actually, you know, 1 below the next increase. So why not just get 2 science like that? We could just barely not do that. This is another economic zone to be had here. And what am I doing with the other human? I could make a culture, I suppose, right? Yeah, I mean, I could. It would give us some income, I suppose, right? 6 instead of 4? Nah, it doesn't seem like it would be amazing. Although, you know, this connection here is 11 anyway, so if I didn't have to make it, that would help actually. But, you know, I maybe want to have this one for the ore. So we send in some more things. Yeah, that would be a thing. Like, if we could do something with a teleporter here, right? We could send in you, we could send in you, we could send in you. And then we could send in a human and a water and an ore from here as well. I don't know how well that would do. The water would go into the lab, I suppose, right? The human would go into here. Another water would go into here. And chip would go back into there. It's okay, right? But it's not huge. But it's a pretty decent use of a teleporter to start with. Like 4 science or so, like that's probably the plan here, right? Try to use a teleporter to somehow somewhat fix this up. We would need more teleporters though. We need more labs. We're in October actually, so we could just found a colony and still get most of our income. Get 108. I suppose we could do something like that in order to get our production back. Now, how can I get a prosperous remnant world? With a teleporter we can, but we kind of need a prosperous remnant world to get a teleporter. It's so sad that we did do this first, right? If I didn't do it, I would have been able to get it now. Feels bad. So there's this one, but like they all need water. I mean, you're available, right? Like, would this be able to get you anywhere close? Not really, right? Because, like, there's no way to use the second robot anywhere here. It's the only thing it can send a robot to already has one from it. You need 2 sinks, right? Sinks? Sinks. I mean this one, but you know, it's entirely new, so to have a whole jumble of plants around it before it gets prosperous. But the only one we really have is this one, but it's, yeah, not really in a position to do so. I mean, with a teleporter, right? But that's the thing we're trying to get. It's a catch-22. You're also slightly out of range. You're not in range at all. These ones are already synced up. There's this, I suppose, right? Which I can colonize in order to get over here. We'll get the other... Actually, we'll get this thing upgraded, right? If I send in a culture from here. That might not be the worst use of my time. I mean, there's self-hosting AI, but... We might end up not using our researchers, but for much later, right? Let's set up this lab as well. That's number 4. Now the goal is 24 science. I mean, we might just about get the regular goal instead of getting all of these. We have 7 years left to do all of it? I don't know. Let's have a look down here, though. There's 2 energy available here. There's also transpose available. It could be good, but I think it's 2 energy. Just so we can fix some things, right? Like you, for example. It just makes things a whole lot easier to do. You're, of course, out of range. And I could, I guess, do this, right? It saves us a human, which could be sent into these laboratories, right? And also, you know, sort of makes it so there are no struggling plants in that corner. Which is kind of nice, right? Not having to worry about an area, at least. There's a necessity for biomatter, which we just can't get. There's 2 things wanting it. Everything wants it, but we just don't have any. there isn't any biomatter anywhere. So one thing we could do is weather control as well. We could make some Earth-likes and stuff. We can make an Arctic here. Another Arctic. Something about that just doesn't really seem right. We can make an arid colony here. There's another arid to be made here. There's Arctic. We could make an Earth-like here, but it's going to be not in range for like biomatter, right? Yeah, there's like, I mean, what weather manipulation allows you to do is take all the colonizable planets and make them closer to Earth, as well as deserts and ice balls, right? Although it doesn't allow you to manipulate jungles in any way, right? Jungles can't become Earth. Which is kind of weird, right? You would expect that it would work on jungle planets. I understand why it doesn't work on ocean planets, but I mean, I suppose, right? I suppose jungles are also ideal. That makes some sense. Yeah, so it would be at if that connection could be made. And I could have a look down here as well. Maybe we'll just build one more scanning station at this point. We have income now. It only takes 1 month and will reveal a lot of information. We'll never be able to use this lava anyway. That should help us at least. Like, we'll get some information. We'll get closer to the goals. Okay, so that's pretty nice, I think. Can we get all of these for you? We can. That's a bunch of nothing though. So, like, if I were to make a colony here, right? I'm gonna be out of range of that, but that's fine. It'd be in. Would it be in range here? Can't tell. Yeah, it's just obstructed. So we'll have to see if this is a colony. It's a forebear, which is utterly in the way. It's utterly annoying. Yeah, so the idea would be, I mean, we can still do it, right? We can make a colony here. Let's just stipple this out here. We can send in both the things into the lab. We can send in the human in here. And then we can send in a culture to make 2 more and then send in the biomatter back. And we also have another water available for, you know, some of these. Now, the thing is, oh, we can reach this as well, right? The problem is, like, this is sort of like what you need a teleporter for to fix, but I think we'll start with these. That sort of makes for 2 more science, right? And then if I send in a human and then send in a culture as well, it'll send some of the stuff back, and then I could send in food and fix this up. And then you have a human available to send in here to get ourselves some more science. Now we can get an infraspace relay or 8 science. I should leave that open because an infraspace relay could fix some things for us. For starters, let's get that limited teleportation, I think. If I want weather control, I mean, I don't really particularly need it. Now that we have limited teleportation, we should probably go for self-hosting AI in order to get our science up further, because we need to get to 40 in 6 years. We also need a bunch of happiness and things, which we'll go fix now. So the first thing I should probably start doing, now that I have some amount of money as well as teleporters available, is to try to get some value out of those teleporters. So we can do this one. And then I wanted to do one over here as well, so we can get a chip in there. Now we can pretty much put it pretty close here, because there's no other planets for it to grab. So if I take a human from here, I can send it into there, right? Yeah. I can take a water from here, send it down here, as well as one into there. And then I can take a chip out of here and send it in there. And I could even take an ore out and send it in here if I wanted to. Giving it another successful partner. I mean, its first successful partner, really. Well, this is definitely a boon, right? We got 8 science here, 7 science there. We're still missing biomatter everywhere, of course, because that's what we're missing everywhere. Not much to go about that. But we can go ahead and use teleporters to get a bunch of stuff everywhere, right? Like there's some major biomatter shortages everywhere. Maybe we should just make some over here, right? We can make a pretty huge amount over here. We can make 3. So there's also some being made over here. Perhaps one of the solutions I could do, though, is this one. We'll be able to get 3 planets and send everything into this lab over here. We'll need some more money. Yeah, money's going to be a problem, isn't it? These teleporters also cost money. So if I could send in a human like that, and another human, I'll get out 24 science, right? And then I could send in a biomatter to get our 11 science lab, which is, you know, this goal over here. So now we've completed most of our goals. I could even get self-hosting AI to boost science further, which we want, because we want to get to 40. I want to do that at the least possible expense. Let's get... I mean, this is 56 money, right? Which is sort of like a pretty big thing. 12 money here. So what are we looking for here? You are not going to make any more goods. So if you had 2 goods available for these 2, that'd be fine, but you only have 1. I could make a robot over here, but I don't particularly need or want to. I could also make good over here, send it back using a secondary teleporter for these 2 colonies, popping the both of them. I mean, they're kind of in a loop where this one needs 2 more partners. This one, they all need like 2 more partners. So I can give you 1, 2. Yeah, I can make you prosperous, right? You want a remnant of prosperous, though. I mean, this one, right? If I go ahead and make a good here, that makes it successful. Right, but it will never really get to prosperous like this because it would need the second energy. I can get a water, I guess, but it wouldn't really work all that well. I guess that's a no. There's some here which could maybe do something with, right? So if I make a teleporter over here, I can connect all 3. The problem is like human shortage, right? I guess I could make one that's like positioned like so. Right? We'll get all 3 again, and we'll also get the laboratory in. You're gonna make a chip. We're gonna make a bot. We're gonna make probably. I don't know. We're gonna make ore and a chip and a bot. That's all 3 things. And then the question is, you know, do we get some things here that could use those things and then also make some humans? I guess we need some goods as well, right? Which unfortunately remnants are not able to do. We don't have the affordings to help us with that. Just even more remnants. I mean, it's nice for doing the mission, right? But we need to use those things. I mean, there's a forge world here, right? We'll be able to use a bot and a thing in there. A bot and how far can these teleporters reach, right? That's the main question. They're pretty far, if I remember correctly. Money. Can I just take the money here? And if I do, can I do it? Yeah, I can, right? Because I've already seen the choice. So yeah, this would be the position, right? We can't, yeah. We'll have to use that, but that's fine. Alright, what that'll allow us to do is take in all of these planets. But the problem is there's no humans anywhere to make this work, so it just doesn't work. Right? It just won't work because there's no humans for the plan. So it's not a good plan. So let's have a look at this area over here with all the struggling planets, right? Is there really no way we can reasonably fix it? Perhaps, right? Perhaps there is. More likely there isn't, but perhaps there is. This one is interesting to me as well. If it were capable of getting a culture from somewhere, it would pop. Or a droid, like here. It would just take so many teleporters is the problem, right? It would take like a teleporter just for this one little connection. Not really what they're best at, right? But it would help. It would definitely help. Like I would be able to get a lot of value out of a teleporter here. Maybe if we could somehow... It's going to be a bit infuriating to do, but maybe we can do it. Like this connection, and then let's just get this money for now. Right, the idea is, yeah, that will forever be frustrating to connect to that side, but because we like that. I don't think there's any way we can do that. Although maybe if I squeeze it in a bit more, right? Let's just take the money now so we get one additional cash. So we teleport to do. We can't squeeze further up than that. Whoop, pixeling our way up there. And we can't really squeeze that any further than that. Can't connect to that side yet. It needs to be so close. Maybe we can like sort of like that. But it still won't connect. So that's also not a good plan. The idea was, of course, to get water in there, get a bot back, get a biomatter in there, and get this one connected as well. And then we have, you know, these 5 planets connected, and we hopefully get ourselves into a situation where we actually get... I mean, maybe we can still do it with just the one, right? On this side, just the one. On the other side, we get like 3 planets, 4 planets, 3 planets. Maybe 4 if I connect it in such a way that this one's available, right? So the idea is we get this arid in here. The problem with that is we won't have enough water, but you know, we'll see. So the idea is to do that. And then the water can go back. Can't connect this side. Yeah, we know. Please stop being infuriating like that. Okay, now it connects. The water will have to go back to get it to successful. The biomatter has to go in here. You get prosperous, which is not the one we want to be prosperousing. We want to prosper this one. That's successful there, as well as a human in there. Are you still not done yet? Water! Also, let's get self-hosting AI. 30 science. We're making our way up, right? We're kind of close, actually. The Elysium project, perhaps, right? That might. I mean, actually, that'll pop you prosperous. For what it's worth. You could just get a mission for it, right? Yeah, you would just be so great if I could connect you in, because you'll become prosperous, basically, right? Now, how do we... Like, the best thing to do would probably be to try to get as many of our existing planets to prosperous as possible, rather than trying to make more. At least, Unless there's like a specific shortage of a thing, which would probably be goods over here. If I would hazard a guess, but it's kind of hard to... And we can do this, right? We need a bot, but I can get one from here. How would I hazard a guess? If we can get some goods in here, that would probably help a great big deal. Like that. I'll start with making... Yeah, that instantly pops prosperous. That's nice. And then we'll get you. I need to use an asteroid, which is fine. I'll use this one, I guess. January 1374. 55 science. A couple points short of any of the good things. A robot in there. Also sends in a human, apparently. Send in another human, which is, I guess, is fine. Yes, we've had a bit of a snag. Just getting another chip in. I think it's still okay to do this, though. It's still pretty nice. Oh, maybe there's a better way, though. Which would involve trying to get this lab as well. Because if I could, right? Oh yeah, I can. And you're out of range, but... You're already producing the maximum number of chips anyway, so it doesn't matter. Okay, so in that case, what are we making here? We're making goods, that's for sure. We'll be able to use the other bot, which is nice. I mean, I could also make goods out of ore, but we won't have a robot for that, but I don't think that matters too much. Oh, hold on a second. Can I even... I might be able to even do... Oh! I might be able to even do that, which would be kind of amazing if I could. Because that would allow us to get another one of those remnants. And that will really get every resource. Can I somehow squeeze that? It's going to be tight, but... Yeah, we can. Okay, that's really nice. So now we can get every resource, right? As well as all these connections, yeah. So the main question is, do we make... We have 2 ore available, right? One of them goes in here. Where's the second one going? The second one goes into here. So this needs to use ore. Well, it could, right? It doesn't need to, but it could. We have so many chips needed, though. Maybe 2 chip things? It could be, right? Could be. I mean, I could just also just try to not use the chips in there, because they're not useful in there. The idea also is to get a robot available. But we need goods. Goods to make things prosperous. Out of what, though? Out of these? Right, just... Okay, so now... You do that. And then we'll do something like that. You know, that connects everything up. That's nice. And then Go ahead and send one ore in here. I'll go ahead and build a recycling operation to connect that in as well. We're going to send in a chip and a chip. And then we'll build a robot over here, which goes in there, making it 12. 37 science. 3 years to go. Also, we have 92 available, which is fine. We could take a space-time inversion, but it doesn't do anything. So now we make this happen, which makes prosperous planets, which is very nice. And then make that happen. And then we connect you in here, which is out of range, which is really annoying. Yeah, it really is. It really is, isn't it? Well, I mean, I could just get a relay for that, but I don't think I want to do that. Let's try to get this up, right? The Elysium project. Just because I... Wait, I can't, because I already have culture hubs everywhere. Yeah, that doesn't work. Nor does that. I mean, there's these, right? Manufactured luxury, which will help. Like, one of our goals is to get 140 happiness, right? Which is probably the hardest one of them. Also, completing that one last council task, which is the Vittories. One of the ways we could just do it is just put in a teleporter, though. I'd like to connect these two with a teleporter as well. It's not the best, but it works, and, you know, we'll get rid of our problems. Also, this will probably get prosperous at that point, I would imagine. I mean, it needs another human, I suppose, right? Yeah. Where is it going to get that? I don't know. Can I... Ooh, I can. Nice. There's your prosperous planet. And maybe hold off on it, maybe for the dinner mission if we could get one. I mean, does it even matter at this point, right? This is the problem. Also, we got some money here. Yeah, we need to use the water in here. We're just spending money like water. Pardon the pun. I guess I could send in another water as well, right? I guess that's okay. I'll do something like this into here. And now we can send in a chip anywhere we want, which one of these prosperous plants is fine. And now it just wants one more import, which, yeah, that'll do it. So, you know, go up to 21 and then send in the import. Prosperous. Nice. Alright, mission number 6. So we have all our tasks. We have all our prosperous plants. We need happiness and 3 points of science. So how are we going to get those two things, right? So 3 points of science would probably just mean getting a bot in here. Because it'll upgrade it so that it actually gains the 3 points of science, I would imagine. We have a bot here, so, you know, just another teleporter will do that. It's just that money. We got a couple asteroids available, but not many. And there's this thing, right? Like, maybe the answer is this thing. Like, would we have ore available? Yes. I'm looking towards fixing this -8 and getting some stuff in the lab at the same time, getting a prosperous planet at the same time, and maybe upgrading this one as well. We'll get the food then, but we're still missing the biomatter. I think that's a good choice, though. Like, ideally we get the event with the biomatter from here, right? Then we're just like super happy. Get 2 more forge rolls successful. Yeah, it's sort of hard, right? I guess we'll take these 2 anyway, just because, you know, they have some rewards associated with them, independent of whether you're able to do them or not. I think I won manufactured luxury just because of the happiness potential is bigger than that of any other tech. go. Yeah, we'll just sort of like have this happiness start ticking up. Then this one will be kind of the major connection we want to make. Also, you know, this gives us some income as well. Like I was hoping I could maybe give you, like you just need more better partners really than that you need any inputs or anything. Does this count as a partner for you actually? Yeah, it does. Okay, well, let's send one in there, I suppose. I mean, it's kind of, I mean, this one, right? This one will also pop, so it's fine that I waste the one luxury because it doesn't stack, right? So doing this just is helpful for making it prosperous. So I just only need to make this one successful instead of also having to deal with this thing, which saves us a pair of teleporters, basically. Also, we're getting some income out of that tech, right? Because the luxury does count as a resource that we can send places. So that's helpful. So is there anything I might want to colonize with anything, really? I mean, I want biomatter, right? But it just doesn't show up here. And you could make a scanning station, but... right. And that one probably wants to be consumed as well. That helps. Gives us some money to work with. Like, maybe you just do this connection as well. That's 10 income, right? So why are you still not... It wants another import, really? There's really no way of doing this without making... I mean, I guess we'll settle this, right? And recycling would probably be the better idea, because there's like chips everywhere. Although bots would also really be helpful, because that will fix this up. Because this can connect in there. The problem with bots, though, is that it doesn't help it doesn't help this Forge world. It really wants just a little push, right? Just a itty bitty push. And it'll get to prosperous. I could just use this, right? And if I get you to prosperous, it'll start sending out 2 of those luxuries. And, you know, it'll also make this... I mean, that's out of range, but... I mean, I guess maybe we can do it together with the... that seems iffy. I mean, yeah... right. We need to get to 140%, which is sort of difficult. But the luxury certainly helps. Which is why I'm so keen on it, basically. Right. Like, we will be able to get another 5-6% happiness just like that. If it's not more, right? Like, we got 25 months. That's the ticking clock over there. Can we do it? I don't know, right? People as robots. Like, maybe, right? It'll help here. These 2 will just instantly be gone and this will pop. I think that's actually a good tech for us then. Being able to get this thing to prosperous like that. Save us some time, save us some trouble. Let's just do this. Get you prosperous, right? That is, what? 4% happiness right there. Make it like 6, 8. I mean, that seems viable enough. And then people as robots. That's 2 more happiness right there. This thing just needs to send out 1 more human, I suppose, right? Or it needs another partner. It needs another partner. Yeah, which would be this. I think we'll do this setup over here that I was talking about. Try to get the lab in as well if we can. It might be a little tricky. It will be a little tricky, in fact. It's not patently impossible to get. Like, I would love to get all 3, right? But yeah, the can't connect to this side is too strong here. So like I need this thing. Right, it would be out of range if I don't take it over here. So you know, that's that, but I can't get that lab in there if I mean maybe with a relay or something, right? Yeah, that's also, you know, sort of a major issue, but I can sort of stretch this a bit. And then hug that, and now it will connect. I don't really know why I'm trying to connect you in as well, but... Oh, no, you're being obstinate? Oh, no, this connects. Oh, does this... Did I find the pixel? No. No, 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 no. Yes. Can't connect to this side. The problems begin. Can't connect to this side. Find the pixel. The game of find. Okay, that's the pixel there. Can't connect. We need to sort of stretch this. So that's as far as that'll go. Easy bit to the right, so we can go up a little bit. Alright, so this angle is a little bit less of a problem. Angles! So there. But that angle is nowhere near what it should be. So it needs to be closer now to the right. And then it will be able to connect there. Out of range. No. More to the left. Yes. Do 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 do. That doesn't look correct. I can tell. Like maybe we just can't. I mean, that connects, but now, you know... No, that one doesn't. I mean, just playing this will work, right? Well, maybe two. You know what, I'm not too bad with that. So we can do something like this, right? And then... Yeah, that's pretty huge, isn't it? 5% happiness, just like that? Like it prospers here and it prospers there. How many prosperous plans did we just get? 2 prosperous and a successful for sending in that single thing. Yeah, that's pretty big. You could send out the food there too. You can send the ore in here, which will make you prosperous as well. So yeah, that's pretty big. We're just sort of lacking money. No money. Is there any planet we might want to colonize? Maybe this one for biomatter, right? If I were to hazard a guess, could we get this in range for biomatter? I think we could. Problem is next year is last year, right? So we have to think about what we're going to do. Running out of money right now is just like sort of like the worst thing possible, right? So can we get... Like, we'll be able to get there, like, by like an inch, right? Which is... By literally like, the tiniest of margins, we'll be able to get the victory here. If it's possible. At all. So let's go ahead and see, you know, if I go ahead and try where we'll end up. So that connection gets us a prosperous planet, which is sort of like amazing. Also, it gets us 2 more of these, which gets us our 140. So that's great, right? You're still going to be a failure, but that's fine. We'll also get some more tech available, which I really got to study if there's anything we might want to get. We can use people as robots. Does that help? It might, right? It might. If we have a food available, which we don't. If we have a food available. Where are we even getting all our food from here? Oh, this one. Yeah, it's kind of full. So that's not the option you want, like getting a habitat. Robots as people? I mean, that's gonna be kind of weird. If we have enough robots near labs, we could do that and fix things with that, but I don't think we have them. We do not have such a thing. We have no capability of making such a thing happen. So that's a no. There's no, like, additional things tech either. You want a water... which we're just kind of not having anymore here. we're out. I guess I could make one here, right? Like just, I mean, you're obstructed, but with a teleporter. But I'll just put in a relay, and then we'll have some water. That could be a thing, right? Like we need to fix. Let's just do the simple thing first, right? Which is just like get our science to 40. There, right? That completes this. Oh, and actually, you know, we have everything, but the problem is we'll lose 1 happiness at the end of this year. So we need to do one little fix or thing or whatever. And we have 7 months to do that in, which, you know, it can be any of a number of things, really. As long as it... I mean, this, right? Isn't that just the simplest thing we could possibly do, and therefore just works? Just get slipstream relay, and then we just sort of like squeeze in a relay here. And then we get an extra human, which we can use for that, I suppose, right? And that could even produce water for there, but we don't have the money to do that, so, you know, just do that. Pops is successful with 144, and there you go. Mission complete. Like, super, super close, but that counts. Like, just looking at this, it's sort of puts into perspective what's required to do these missions at 25 points on tough, right? It's sort of like nearly optimal. There's like a few non-prosperous planets around, and the rest is just... We didn't even focus on any of the missions, right? We didn't really do any of that. Although I did get the money here. We didn't even get the money in the science here either. And just sort of like we needed to get lucky with that, you know, that quantum computing ruin. That was sort of just necessary to get. I mean, I talked about, you know, the other option, the orbital labs option, which would have also worked. We wouldn't have gone culture hubs with orbital labs instead. And, you know, manufactured luxury was actually instrumental to beat this nightmare of a mission. But it's finally done. Can I just... Let's just send in that one human and go to 145. And let's skip to next year and bask in our victory. Yeah. Echoes in the dark for you. A genuinely tough mission. but completed surprisingly quickly. So that means we're now done with all of the campaign missions. So, I mean, I guess I just ignored this text, but, you know. Yeah. They're trying to communicate with something. Something they maybe not should have communicated with. We don't know. We'll find out once the next batch of missions is going to be released for the campaign. For now, this was Slipways. We'll take a little break and then we'll stream some more. Maybe I'll do just some regular tough missions again. I kind of feel like doing one of those. These were challenging.